So the story takes us to the fall of 2011, when a girl named Emily was growing up in the Appalachian foothills of Kentucky. Where she came from, the old stories weren't just stories, they were warnings, rules passed down for generations until they stopped feeling like folklore and started to sound like facts. Emily lived with her mother and grandmother in a small house tucked deep in the woods. Their closest neighbor was nearly 15 minutes away. As a kid, she spent most of her time outside, playing in the creek, climbing the trees, and exploring the trails. But there were two rules in that house: never stay out past dark, and never whistle at night. Emily never really questioned it. It was just how things were. Her grandmother wouldn't explain why, and over time, Emily stopped thinking about it. So years later, when she came back for a holiday, the house felt smaller than she remembered. The woods didn't seem as big. So after dinner, she stepped out into the porch for some air. The sun had set, but it wasn't completely dark yet. The air was cold and the woods were quiet in that way it gets right before winter. She doesn't know why she did it. Maybe out of habit, maybe to break the silence. But she let out a quick whistle. The sound echoed through the trees and faded. She smirked at herself. She didn't believe in any of those old stories anymore. But later that night, while sitting in the living room scrolling through her phone, she heard it. A whistle. The same pitch. The same rhythm. Coming from the woods. She froze. A few minutes passed, but it came again. Closer. And at first she thought it could be an echo maybe, or maybe a bird, but then she noticed how steady it was. Every few minutes, one long, slow whistle, followed by silence. It didn't sound random. It sounded deliberate, like it was waiting for something. The whistling moved slowly around the house, from one side to the other, pausing now and then, like whoever, or whatever, was making it was listening. Emily sat still in the dark, barely breathing. Her chest felt tight. She kept telling herself it was just nothing, but then she heard footsteps in the frost outside, slow and heavy, moving window to window. Every so often, the whistling would start again, louder this time. She wanted to get up, to turn on a light, to check the locks, but she couldn't move. She was just frozen in terror. And then everything went silent. Emily stayed frozen in her chair for what felt like hours, waiting for the sound to come back. But it never did. The next morning, she walked out to her car. The ground was covered in a thin layer of frost. But that's when she saw them. Footprints. Bare feet, small. They led from the woods to her house, from window to window. And they stopped right outside her bedroom.